Maybe you've noticed. Maybe you've noticed in your own life or in society altogether, we are in an epistemological disintegration. I'm not sure. For a while, I was calling an epistemological crisis. For a while, I was calling it an epistemological quandary or dilemma, but I think it's an epistemological disintegration. How do you know what's true? How do we know what's true? Is there anything that's true together? That's the epistemological question. I got a phone call from somebody who said she was working with an organization in conjunction with my health insurance company, and she was offering services of some kind or another related to care management and registered nurses and things. And is she telling the truth? Is she really working for my best interest in relation with my health insurance company? Or is she trying to get money from me? Like, is she trying to get money from me in a legal way, where if I said yes to what she's doing, it would tie in with my health insurance, and then they would bill me for a copay, and I would be swindled that way? Well, maybe what she's offering really is valuable to me, and maybe she's a complete scammer. Maybe she's gonna ask for my name and address, then poof, my bank account will be empty. Who knows? Who knows? This is part of the epistemological disintegration. If you've noticed when you buy chocolate chips to put in chocolate chip cookies, I mean, you could buy chocolate chips to put in chocolate chip cookies, or you could buy chocolate chips to eat, like out of the bag. And if you're me, you could get chocolate chips to eat out of the bag, but not really want them in the bag, want them in a jar in your cupboard. And then you would, like, things in jars in the cupboard should stay, should stay dry in the jar. Because if you ever have taken the spices that you want to add to the soup and taken them over top of the steaming pot and started to sprinkle them in and had the steam go up in the jar, that's bad news. That's bad news for everybody. Well, is it bad news? How would you know if steam in the jar is bad news? I've read that if the steam in the jar and moisture and disintegration of the flavors, and it could even get moldy because of the moisture. So when I took my jar of chocolate chips and I unscrewed the lid, and the lid fell into the sink with the dirty dishes and into the water. It's like, now I'm gonna have to wash the lid. And lids, you never know if a lid is dry. A lid can stay in the dish drainer for a couple of days, and then you pick it up and it had water down in it, and you shake it out and still. I don't want to put that lid back on my chocolate chips because it might create havoc in the. Just think of all the things that could have a party in my chocolate chip jar. I robbed a bank. Now, how would you know if that was true? Like, just because I told you I robbed the bank? I was with a friend in the bank, and it wasn't my bank. Oh, do you remember going to the bank with your parents when you were little? That was one of the places in town where you could get a lollipop or a sucker. was the bank with Mom when she went to do the banking. But I was in a bank with a friend. My friend was doing her banking, and I wasn't doing any banking at all, so I was loitering over by that table where you would fill out your paperwork. Now, in some banks, that would also be the space where they have a little bit of coffee in a little dispenser that you could have, or that would be where the lollipop is, or, all of those things. But this bank didn't have any of that. This bank, when I glanced down on the floor, had a dime. A dime on the floor of the bank. And now, when I see pennies and dimes and nickels, I'm in the habit of picking them up. And so I picked up that dime and I put it in my pocket and walked out of that bank. And I thought, did I just rob a bank? I just robbed a bank! Oh, I'm a bank robber! Oh, if only I were notorious. But it's just like, how do you know if the steam is gonna disintegrate your spices, or if there's still water in the jar lid, or if I'm a bank robber, or if that woman on the phone is trying to get all of my money or be helpful? It's just like, I wanna trust people. I wanna live in a world where everybody tells the truth and is out for my own good. That's the world I want to live in. So I try to live in that world until proven otherwise, but I've got plenty of suspicion and skepticism around the edges.